Hi, I'm Judy. I'm from Vietnam, and I am the owner of Saigon Noodle Bar in Rovaniemi. And our team has three members: Judy, Sela, and Mira. We are not successful entrepreneur yet. We are still in our road and our journey to follow our dream and achieve the successful in the future. Honestly, when we run in our own business, financing is very difficult to think because we are foreigner and we were a student before. So to save in when you establish your own business like restaurant, in the beginning you need to invest many things to have the equipment, furnitures, and also some like decoration and many things and paperwork need to do, and financing keep us thinking all the times and always put it in the important part, like key elements of successful business. So we three of us came together and we did many brainstorming and many steps need to do to establish the new restaurant. It takes quite really a lot of money to invest for the first company, and we cannot ask in for the bank because our background is just students. We don't have any a rich background or at least a finished background. We are three Vietnamese students, and it was the Corona time, so it's very hard to ask in for the bank, especially asking for loan. I talk with my parents. I say, because they are farmers in Vietnam, so they are not very rich and they are very poor. Like we are not like a rich family. We just have average family, and I asking for them. All of my saving money, I will invest for my restaurant, just in case anything happens. So I need your help, just in case. And could you save or put some of the money for us to make us feel that we have like some background or some family support? And honestly, my family is very happy when I try my best to do my own dream or my own business. And they believe that if we have the strong will, we can do everything. And I didn't ask any money from the bank, and also I didn't get any money from my parents. All of my money this is from three of us, and the money that is my whole 5 years saving money that I work 3 or 4 different jobs and different projects, and all that money I use for this business. And that's why we try very hard. We work very long. We didn't ask any part-time come to help. Only 3 of us work day and night. And then we told with ourselves, okay, we will live our life not very like the life that average life. We need to live it hard in very beginning, but in some future, we can live the life that another people they believe. So that's why we still keep in mind. We just try to fight and work hard in the beginning to survive. Think very carefully for the next 3 month planning, 1 year planning, and 3 year planning about financing. Because many restaurants, to get back all of their investment, it takes about 3 to 5 years. So planning for financing need to be very carefully. So for us, we try to save in money as much as possible, and we always define there are 2 styles, like is it must to have or is it nice to have. In the beginning, we writing down the list what it must to have for the restaurant, how we can run the restaurant in first 3 months or first 1 year. So must to have. And in the must to have, we always to try to think, is it have another alternate, like another option. Instead of buying the new things or the new equipment, we really try our best to find and decorating in the student way. But like you can see in our restaurant, it's very small, and we bought all of the equipment like the table, the chairs, and also some of the machine from the old restaurant that they are closing. So we came there, we asked them to buy the good quality. It's not the new one, but it's good enough for running the business. Honestly, in Finland, everything is super expensive. I don't understand why, it was quite very expensive to have the good quality, and it needs to meet the restaurant standards. And when we write down all of the list, it was over than our expectation. Then we say, okay, we can buy the wood from the KCity or K-Rauta. We bought all the wood, and then we make on some of the table and the casa and the table in the window by ourselves. So I can give you some example about how much we buy or what did we amount that we spend for investment. And honestly, you can look like this. This glass, I bought it from another restaurants when they're closing. And when many restaurants, when they're closing, they put in their equipment and their some kind of restaurant products for sales. So I bought this one very luckily. I buy 100 of this and about 50 cents for one of these. I tried my best to find different place, and I went to Oulu to find another place for selling the machine. Then also we go to Tori to shop all of the frozen leverage. So I didn't have much money. Can you give me some discount? And bargain is a very nice skill, but Finnish people, they don't use much bargain skill. They try to ignore it. But for us, negotiation is very good skill. We need to learn when we were students. And the biggest amount that we usually invest is for equipment in the restaurants, because some of the equipment from restaurant, they need to meet the restaurant standard. Don't buy too much the new things because it's well hard to get the money back. And when you open a restaurant, I think the most expensive one is to pay for the rent. And you need to pay for the 2-month deposit. That is the biggest money that we need to give, and we cannot get it back early. So for us, we try to keep us must to have in minimum and nice to have in consideration. Like for example, when I invest for the website, some customers say, why you don't have the website in the beginning? Because if you don't have the website, a customer can hard to read the menu. And I answer to them, website is nice to have. In the beginning, I tried to use all of the free website like TripAdvisor, Google, Instagram, or Facebook. We are a young team. We can be active in social media. We can take videos of pictures, and I put it in nice to have. And now, when over 2 years, now we have our own website. And honestly, when we are student and foreigner, if you invest too much money, like 100,000, it will be too much. Try to keep it at least as possible, as minimum as possible. And in case it's successful, then we can invest more in the future. But in case it's fail, it's not like the huge loan that you need to ask from the bank, because more than 85% of the owner, like restaurant owner, when they open the business, in the first 1, 2, or 3 years, like more than 80% of the restaurant, they are closed. And honestly, we are very lucky. We got a lot of support. You can see in our Instagram, we have very beautiful photos, and they are very professional photographers. They say that whole of the packet, the features that they take for us, it takes 2,000 euro, usually with their level to make it, but they did it for free. Then I really appreciate them. And when I get back, like when I have more money in the next future, we would like to invest in the level that suitable with 2,000. Our team has 3 members, Judy, Sela, and Mira. And thank you that cooperate with us to sharing our stories. We are not successful entrepreneur yet. We are still in our road and our journey to follow our dream and achieve the successful in the future. I really appreciate that you watch the videos until the end. Really appreciate. And I hope all the knowledge that I share with you is not just my experience from restaurant business. Hopefully it can help you somehow in your dream, your jobs, or you want to open your own business.